Hi. In this short video, I'm going to provide a more detailed review of the new Discussions feature in the spring 2012 release of AssociCom. Discussions are probably the most significant addition to this release of AssociCom, and they're a feature that many of our customers have been asking for. Previously in AssociCom, we had discussions, but discussions always had to be attached to content items in the library. With this release of AssociCom, we've provided for top-level discussions that can be started by anybody and don't have to be associated with specific items in the library. When you click on the Discussions tab, you are greeted with this view, which has a set of folder-like entities on the left-hand side and a details pane on the right-hand side. We used this folder view because it's familiar to most people who've used the library feature inside of AssociCom. But really, you can think of these folders as being the topics and subtopics within your discussion area. These are completely customizable by you, and in this particular case, I've created 3 top-level topics for my sample site that I'm working with here. And if I come over here, you can see that I can open up my product discussions topic, and you can see that there's a number of subtopics inside of that. And you could go even further and create subtopics inside of your topics if you liked to. When I'm looking at the contents of a particular folder, so I'll select this Microsoft folder, or this Microsoft subtopic if you like, we're greeted with a view that shows us the discussions that are contained within this particular subtopic. Now, one of the things that's interesting about discussions inside AssociCom is that not only do we allow you to have discussion threads, which most people would expect in a forum type environment, but we also have the notion of questions and polls. So these are all considered to be discussion type items and will live inside this space underneath here. There is a capability to alter the view that I see for a particular subtopic, so I can go from the icon view to the list view. The advantage of the list view is that it does provide some additional detail about the items that we're looking at. So for example, here we can see who created the discussion, when it was last modified, numbers of replies, and that sort of thing. I'm going to go back to the icon view. Here we do get some of that information, so we can see how many replies are in each of these discussion threads. And you can see who created them, although they're not named. These icons are indicative of the person who created that discussion thread. Now I'm going to actually drill into one of these discussions. And here you can see we've got a fairly standard discussion thread layout. At the top area of the screen here, we have the original thread posting. It's interesting, in AssociCom, again, we have the notion of a title for a discussion thread and then the actual contents of it as well. We can see that this discussion was sharded by user shan12, the date, and the actual topic folder that it's in. As with other aspects of AssociCom in this release, we have these drop-down menus are available for operating on the particular item. So if I wanted to just post a reply to this particular thread, I could do it here. I can also, of course, reply to the individual responses that are made in that discussion thread as well, and I would do that at this point using these things here. So you can see, as we noted above, that this discussion has 2 responses in it already. What's interesting about this view is that we've got some filtering capabilities and some sorting capabilities that will help us be able to make better use of the system. So on filtering, we can filter out so that I see only things that are by myself, so I'm just looking to see what things I've contributed. We've got comments by my network. Now, if you remember, AssociCom has a notion of connections by to people, and so my network is the set of people that I'm connected to. So if I just wanted to look at those, and comments not by me, basically, so that I can see anything that's happening that I haven't contributed directly. So those are all filtering capabilities. In terms of sorting, we have newest on top, oldest on top, and sorting by rating. Newest on top is most useful if you've been following along with the discussion, so you'll just see that new information at the top. However, if you haven't had an opportunity to be participating in the discussion, oldest on top is useful because what it will do is lay out the entire discussion in chronological order for you, and you can see where the discussion started and follow the flow of the conversation through. The other thing that is interesting about discussions, of course, is that we have the capability to subscribe to discussions. Subscription to a discussion means that you will receive automatic instantaneous email notification if a new reply is added to that particular thread. So this is a good way of really staying in touch with discussions that you're particularly interested in. So that is a summary of the new capabilities of the discussion feature in the spring 2012 release of AssociCom, and we hope you'll watch the other videos that we'll be releasing on the other new features.